sipping, so high you couldn't reach me with a antenna. Yeah, with this man, you can be this.
Why do we call it the personal computer? Well, it's not just a box or a station, right? Your PC doesn't exist without you. And you don't just use your PC, you're its keeper. You're responsible for it. PC gamers get their hands dirty. We turn the screws, we clean the fans, we thread the cables. It's got your fingerprints on it, and that has a special kind of pride. We build our PCs, and through them, we build friendships and rivalries. We build communities and our reflexes.
I'm down!
We write stories, we make mods because we get to decide what experience we want.
Get the hell out of my face.
God bless you, modders. PCs are scaffolding for our imaginations. That's what PC gaming means to us. To build, and to give back to your hobby as much as it gives to you. This is the PC Gaming Show 2017.
You're not supposed to be here. True battle. If only you knew the truth.
There were 3 resistance groups that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other.
So, you do exist.
They were sent here to purge the lost.
You are safe here.
Good.
Advent Hobbit. I suppose we should begin then.
Now the real war begins.
Yes, Commander. Moving to position.
That Ooblets trailer makes me oh so happy, and the previous one you just got the chance to see is the old school tabletop game Battletech, distilled into its purest form on PC. And here to talk about it from Harebrained Schemes is Jordan Wiseman and Mitch Gittleman. Welcome, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you up on stage.
Thank you very much.
Woo! Yes, that's the spirit.
Oh, hell yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of games based on Battletech. Tell us about this incarnation.
By all means, Battletech is a modern, turn-based tactical game set within the MechWarrior universe. There's going to be 3 modes of play. A single-player skirmish, a multiplayer skirmish, and then our open-ended mercenary campaign.
Well, I want to hop straight into some of that single-player content by taking a journey to the Argo. I understand that, you know, there's all sorts of combat goodies that we're going to see in a moment, but the Argo is in between missions. Walk us through what we're seeing
Right, so
here.
the Argo is broken down a hulk of a spaceship from a bygone era, and it is your mercenary command center. You could take it all over space, going from star system to star system, and taking mercenary jobs from all sorts of different people, from petty dictators all the way up to the great lords and ladies of the noble houses. And from there, you can also command your entire mercenary crew. There's Samiri, she's your navigator, and you command her and all of your mech warriors as you take your jobs and upgrade your ship.
I'm curious a little bit about the storyline in the single player.
Sure. So you're going to see in a few moments Lady Kamea Arano. She's a deposed ruler. Her throne was taken by her uncle, and you are going to jump in and help her regain her throne. Of
course.
It's been plunged, the whole space has been plunged into a bloody civil war.
And these, of course, are the tools of negotiation and diplomacy called battle mechs. And here in the mech bay, which is one of the key components of the Argo, you're able to customize the mechs, adding different weapons, changing out weapons and armor, heat sinks, all that kind of stuff. Yang here is your master of ceremonies. He's one of the key crew members, because fixing these mechs after you come back from combat, you're a merc. You're supposed to make money. Taking damage, sets you behind, and so that's a really delicate balancing act.
I can imagine that trying to get all the parts that you need for your ship can be a little difficult.
Absolutely. That's why things like, especially in this time in era where parts are scarce, battlefield salvage is an important part of the game, and that also gets into like when you take out an enemy, try to leave the parts you want.
Yeah, you want to hit them just hard enough to take them down. There's Lady Kamea Arano there, and she's going to be the person you work for during the campaign. But of course, when the campaign ends, the single-player story ends, you can still play the open-ended campaign, traveling around doing whatever you want. And there are the battle mechs.
Yes, now we're going to get a chance to look at the combat itself. You're coming down from the Argo, you're descending into battle. Walk me through what we're seeing.
By all means. So Battletech full 3D environment, and like a modern tactical game, the environment counts, right? Line of sight, sensors, cover. Even though you're, friggin' 30-foot tall, covered in armor, hiding in a forest still helps. It soaks off damage. And so all of those are kind of core components of any modern game, and especially facing, which is really important in this game.
Facing really matters in Battletech. Battle mechs aren't giant bags of hit points. Instead, they have 11 different armor locations. There's internal structure. They have the internal components, these critical slots filled with all sorts of important pieces. So what you're trying to do is strip off the armor from one location and then keep your facing to try and penetrate it, get to the juicy bits.
Yeah, I mean, I see this diagram at the top. It's reminiscent of the original tabletop game, which I actually played as a kid. And I mean, like...
As a kid, huh? Thanks, pal.
I mean, I understand it's the same sort of idea where damaging the arm disables that weapon, but the mech can keep going.
And you keep going at it, you blow that arm off, and they lose those weapons.
And the back is really juicy and tasty, too. You get around the back of a battle mech and penetrate. I said that out. We're live, right?
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
There you go. What you just saw there is melee. One of the things we're really excited about. I mean, mechs were not only weapon systems; they're giant, armored suits. And so going up and being able to slug and kick and just even put a foot through a cockpit or death from above, jump up and slam down on mechs. All that stuff is supported in this game. And
you really want to manage your heat too. You're walking. These mechs. The pilots are sitting on a giant nuclear reactor, basically, and so you really want to watch your heat. How much
like this guy here is
your different weapons do, because if you shut down in combat, you are quite vulnerable.
It's been really fascinating to watch a lot of the streams, because I know you guys just went into beta. Where can the people here go to sign up to play?
Why, Sean, they can go to battletechgame.com. That's battletechgame.com.
We have the sequel to Total War Warhammer 1. It's Total War Warhammer 2. I'm joined by Al Bickham from Creative Assembly.
Hey, Dan.
How's it going, Al?
Yeah, really good. Good to be here.
So tell me, what is it that's been going on since your announcement a few months ago?
Quite a lot, really. I mean, this is we're working on the second game in our trilogy. It's going to be every bit as big as the first game, but we're layering on. We're sort of doubling down on all the stuff that made the first game so fun, which is real diversification between the factions and a whole range of new kind of gameplay extras in the campaign game as well. So 4 new factions set across 4 new continents.
There's 4 new factions, is there?
Yep, 4 new factions, yep.
I thought there were 2 big ones we were talking about.
No, well, we're focusing on the High Elves and the Lizard Men at the moment.
Yeah.
But there's the Dark Elves as well, and another 4th race, which we have yet to announce.
Oh, you tease.
I know, terrible, isn't it?
Well, Al, talk to us a little bit about the High Elves and the Lizard Men.
Right, so they're both essentially working towards the same goal in the campaign game, which is to heal the Great Vortex, which is a sort of unique feature of the campaign map, which ties the whole narrative of the game together.
Right.
But even those in the Warhammer world with the same aims will inevitably come to blows at some point. So that's what we'll be showing today.
And we're going to be looking at what is called a quest battle between the High Elves and the Lizard Men. Walk us through a little bit of what we're about to see.
Okay, so this is we're about to show some footage from a quest battle for Krokgar, who's one of the legendary lords for the Lizard Men, and this is one of his quest battles, and it's the battle for the Fallen Gates. So you'll see the master Lizard Man forces trying to oust the High Elves as they try and they're sort of meddling in an ancient power site of the Lizard Men.
Well, I'm very excited to take a look. It's going to be some in-game footage from the Battle of the Fallen Gates. What's in store?
So we have, our focus at the moment is to sort of stabilize the game, get the servers up to spec, but also we have, 2D, 3D replays planned for in-game replays. We have new weapons coming every month. So yeah, but our current focus is really just get the game competitive and stable.
So suddenly fences are no longer the most impossible object in the game. You can climb over them.
Yeah. So our content programmer Marek, he's done a really great job getting this system to be dynamic. So it doesn't matter what object you're in front of, you'll jump or vault over it.
Yeah, so in terms of jumping and vaulting, is it... yeah, vaulting. Is it sort of, when you say that it's dynamic, does this mean that the taller the obstacle, the more difficult it is to climb over?
Yeah, exactly, and it has different animations for each different thing, so vaulting, climbing. Now we also have weather, so...
One of my favorite aspects, of course, is the rain map in the game. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
So this is our new weather settings. This is fog. You just saw clear day. Our rain has been tweaked a little bit as well. And we also have our sunset coming in. So this really, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's beautiful. Quite beautiful. Yeah.
And what is the impact on gameplay of these types of things with weather?
It just changed dynamic. Oh, so this is...
Oh, a new gun.
Yes. This is the OTS Groza. It's a 7.62 bullpup. Super powerful, crate only. Yeah, it's going to be a beast.
Is it a short range, long range? Where's
short to medium? It's going to be a beast. It's going to be super powerful, and then long range, it'll work as well.
And I remember before you came on the show, I asked, why did you put that gun in? And I think your answer was,
it just looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah. It's like we wanted to add a bullpup, and we wanted to add something else to the 7.62 class, and this is a Spetsnaz weapon. Yeah, it just looks great.
It looks cool, as good as a reason as any, honestly. I want to come back to the weather effects. Obviously, they look beautiful. What are some of the impacts that you've seen on the gameplay with the new weather effects?
Well, it's just going to change the way you play. So it's not necessarily going to be, you're going to be sniping all the time. With the foggy weather, you're going to have to choose a more kind of CBQ type play style. But it's just, again, to give you a bit of variety and make every game kind of different.
You've talked a little bit about what we've seen in the video, but talk to me about long-term. What's far down the line for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
So again, we want to finish out the platform and make it a good platform for all kind of game modes. We will have modding down the line as well. And it's just creating a stable platform. That's our aim here.
I understand that you're also working on new maps.
Yeah, so we have 2 new maps coming, one based in Peru, a desert map with sort of ruined cities, with sandstorms and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then this other one in the Adriatic, so it has even a ruined cosmodrome in the center of the map with like snowfall, and I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I know that you've been super involved with the community of regular players. What's in store for those people playing the game right now?
So as I said, we have our custom games. We have the 3D replays, which I'm really excited about because it allows you to watch your match back in the engine with a free cam and slow motion and stuff
Which
like
is
that.
great for content creators.
Exactly, right? So you can
Content creators, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll just give you a new way to create like machinimas and stuff like that within the game.
Yeah. And the last thing I want to bring up, because you were mentioning this a lot before you came on, you have all sorts of stability and performance fixes incoming.
Yeah, so like our focus this month is on our server performance and really getting that stable, because at the moment the servers aren't performing the best they could. But, you know, so last month our team's focus was on client performance, and we improved that broadly for a lot of people. And this month it's on servers, so they've already found a lot of things to fix, and I'm excited.
That's great. I'm sure players will completely stop blaming anything on the game at that point.
Right.
They will accept responsibility for those losses then. Well, to Player Unknown himself, Brendan, thank you so much for coming. Guys from PC gaming shows past, Tripwire Interactive is back with a slew of games to talk about, and I'm joined by creative director Bill Monk. Pleasure to have you, Bill.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
As always.
All right.
You guys have been busy. Congratulations on the recent release of Rising Storm 2.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a realism FPS. We just released it 2 weeks ago, and the fan reaction's been really positive. Really happy about that, and we want to thank everyone who was part of the beta phases that helped shape the game in a real positive way. And be sure to check out the Trello boards, see what we're up to, and we're actually already really busy working on some new content, so stay tuned.
That's amazing. I mean, I know so many people know you from Killing Floor 2, but especially this year, there's so much to talk about. I mean, last year you announced Killing Floor, Incursion, the VR Killing Floor. How's that been going?
Oh, that's been going awesome. You know, Incursion's one of the second phase, game or second wave games to come out for VR, and we've learned a lot, and we're really, really excited. We think we have one of the best products that's going to come out later this year. It's scary as hell. You can play it
I don't know if I could handle
single player and co-op, and we're really excited to release it. So stay tuned on that.
That's awesome. Now, the big thing I know you wanted to talk about today was a little bit of content coming down the line for your big game, Killing Floor 2. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, when we released Killing Floor 1, one of the things that really put us on the map was our time seasonal events.
Right. And
when we released Killing Floor 2, people were always clamoring and asking, you know, well, when are you guys going to do that for Killing Floor 2?
Reasonable enough.
Well, we're super happy to announce the Summer Sideshow coming out this year.
Well, I'm eager to show everyone this footage. This trailer makes me laugh every time. Let's go ahead and take a look at Killing Floor 2's Summer Sideshow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tragic Kingdom Amusement Park. Come on down and play Find Mini Cutie, Feed the Pound, Dunk the Bloat, and Pop the... What? Was that a real head? Trade for festive clown makeup, colorful hats, and dozens of other items. Carnival rewards are only available for a limited time. See the adorable pinhead and marvel at the mighty strong pound. Oh, what is wrong with him? Hear the bearded beauty, the siren from Fiji. I think I'm gonna be sick. Backed by popular demand. Come see Pukey the clown and the monkey man. Why does the monkey have a chainsaw? Find romance in the tunnel of love. Swing on the queen of chains. Look at the... Ow! Scream on Pound Mountain! Oh, but that's not safe! See the death-defying firestones of Dr. Infernum's Pyrotechnic Emporium! Oh, is he actually on fire? Why is that person on fire? Earn new achievements and try out the new HG-12 shotgun and tactical lever-action rifle! Why do you need a shotgun at a carnival? I don't care, it's unlockable! Why does the carnival cleanup crew need hazmat suits? No, I'm done. This is a horror show. I'm getting out of here. If you can hear this, run!
Warning. News and outbreaks and variants and behavior detected. Be alert for new challenges, modes, and threats in the weekly outbreaks.
He's the PC design lead at Rare to talk about Sea of Thieves. Come on out, Ted.
Hey, Shill.
Ted Timmons.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. It's a pleasure. So, Ted, talk to me a little bit about what is Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, so we feel like we've made the pirate game you've always wanted. When you think about sailing around the open seas, you and your crew of crewmates, basically it's Pirates of the Caribbean meets the Goonies.
What are some of the things that you're showcasing here at E3 in the game?
Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see the briefing yesterday, we showed off great new features like riddle map storms and firing yourself out of cannons.
A common pirate pastime.
Yeah, pretty known.
Now, I had to ask the same question to Forza Motorsport. What are some of the things, some of the features that you've added in to focus on the PC experience?
Yeah, so we've got things like 4K, unlocked frame rates, or everything you expect, but we've also brought our gameplay footage in 21:9 as well, my personal favorite.
Your favorite resolution, right? One of the top 3 favorite resolutions
Yeah, it's
of yours?
probably there with 32:9 and 16:9 as well, probably.
So, tell me a little bit more about the PC version. Obviously, it's probably a challenge to try to develop for 2 different devices at once.
Yeah, so we decided to change our approach to the game. We're actually building both versions in parallel because we felt that's how we deliver the same game on the same day.
So it's not a port from one device to the other?
Correct, yeah. We felt it was really important just to build them together from the very beginning.
Just one single code path?
One single code path, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I know a whole lot of people here are curious to get their chance to play it. Is there an official release date or an opportunity for them to play it?
Yeah, so we're coming to both platforms in early 2018, but right now we have a technical alpha. You're welcome to come sign up. We have thousands of PC players playing already. So, yeah, come join us, seaofthieves.com.
Once again, Ted Timmons.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
From Rare, thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks for coming out. Let's ask the obvious question. What is The Last Night?
The Last Night is what we call a cinematic platformer, which means it's not a game like Mario where you have to jump from platform to platform, but it's more story-driven. It's more reminiscent of old classics like Another World, Flashback, or Oddworld even.
Oddworld, I was going to say, it reminded me quite a bit about it. And I saw that you guys had the big announcement reveal at Microsoft yesterday. I mean, that trailer was such a hit. It blew up. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, we are obviously super happy with the trailer reception. It's been absolutely incredible. Now, of course, I have some concerns I want to address. I am embarrassed by some tweets I made in the past. I want to apologize for those. They do not in any way represent who I am today or what The Last Night will be about.
Well, let's talk about what the game is about. I know that the setting of The Last Night is super important to the character of the game. Tell me, where are we right now?
I want you to imagine a world where machines are surpassing us in every possible way,
Right.
So not only physically, but also intellectually, emotionally, even creatively.
So in a sense, like any job that you could possibly imagine, an AI does better.
Absolutely.
Including being a host for a PC gaming show.
Including that.
Well, I imagine, thank you, this one person who is also excited about the booth. Now, in terms of this world, this must give a kind of sense of existential crisis to all the inhabitants.
Yeah, like the way I can...
What is it like to be a person in this world?
So, in a world where you're not valuable anymore in production, the only thing you can really do is to consume endlessly, right? So what you're trying to see with this game is how do you define yourself, when you don't have anything to create or to strive for.
Yeah, and I can see, obviously there's the futuristic lighting and the visuals, but there's also that sort of drab, dreary tone. This art style is amazing. I mean, all of these assets are in 2D, but it has so many modern effects. How did you even think of this?
So it all comes down to my background in VFX and advertising, basically. So I wanted to, explore what I could do with 2D and pixel art, and just augment that and enrich it with like modern techniques of lighting and compositing.
Right. And we've talked a little bit about where we are, about the art style. Who are you? Who do you play as in The Last Night?
Yeah, so the character you get to play is a young idealist, I would say.
Yeah.
And because of a childhood accident, he cannot enjoy the same gamified, augmented life than everybody else.
Right.
So because of that, he wants to change the world. And on
you want to
his
have
way,
like an impact and a meaning.
Absolutely. So on his way to do that, he's going to meet some questionable characters you have to trust or not on your way.
What about the gameplay? What are the things that, if I'm the player, what do I do in The Last Night?
So we took inspiration from some classic genre like point and click and adventure games, but so you get to solve puzzles and dialogues, of course. But we added a real-time component to it.
Real time in what sort of sense? What makes it a real-time puzzle?
So it means that, while you are busy breaking in an apartment, for instance, all the simulation is still happening around you. So police come around, and you have to be careful about that.
So in a sense, like, if I tried to break into the apartment at night, the police might be on patrol at that time, but if I came in the morning, there might be no police, but the resident might be home.
Absolutely, yeah. So that means that, if you see the police coming around the corner, you better, just hide, pretend to be a hobo, or maybe draw your gun.
You also mentioned that the structure of the game is in one night after the other. What's that like?
Yeah, so the game is structured around several nights, so it spans on several nights, and they are all interconnected, which means that what you tell people on the very first night, and what you do also is all remembered.
So if I'm just in a conversation and just walk away in the middle of it?
Yeah, they will remember it.
They'll remember, like 2 days later, they'll be angry.
Yeah.
That's fast. That must add a huge amount of replayability since the world is just changing based upon
Yeah, we're
your
taking a lot
inputs.
of pleasure to hide a lot of stuff in the city, and we hope the community will have fun to figure and get that out collectively. So, yeah.
Well, again, I love the art style. I love these stories.
Oh, the speed of this game is intense. 1,000 decisions a minute. This is hardcore PvP.
Your instincts take over. It's primal.
It's exhilarating. Full frontal f***ery. A million miles an hour.
Literally from every angle.
I was shaking after the matches ended. It was like a high. One of the fastest games that I've ever played.
Are you ready for another one? I'm like, I just need a minute, man. I'm shaking. I'm shaking over here.
I think the thing people are going to find in this game the most enjoyable is simply how difficult it is.
There's a pretty impressive skill gap. You can't just sit down and dominate within an hour or two.
Practical skill required. Precision aiming, the ridiculously fast movement.
Mechanically, it requires a lot of aim, a lot of vision and game sense. It's a twitch shooter. It's how a twitch shooter should be.
The action's going to press you, and if you don't keep on top of it, you're just going to get blown off the map.
I think team comp is definitely a huge thing for this game.
As we're flying around in zero gravity, it's kind of a new situation for us. How do you keep up with your tank and protect them and heal them, also protect your healer and peel off them, while DPS is still being affected and they're being supported? It gets crazy very quickly.
The gravity is the biggest thing because that adds so much verticality, and you combine the different movement systems of each character, where some characters have teleports and some characters have dashes, and this gets really wild and insane.
Now, literally anywhere you look is potentially an attack point.
I am literally under the map, saving myself from a grappling hook, whipping myself into the air, shooting at anyone below.
You need to check every possible corner. People are going to fly you with jetpacks, they're going to fly at you with double swords. You're going to have
someone that could just jet up in the sky, and all of a sudden now you have to worry about getting up there.
There's some abilities that I just haven't seen before.
Medic role is actually phenomenal. Well, it's battle medic, they call it. So it's not one of those medics where you have to sit back. It's not even a thankless role anymore because I'm out there slaying, killing with the rest of my team while keeping them alive.
Wraith's got a really good one. With the sliding and the jump into zero-G, that's great. Getting through the map that fast is ridiculously fun.
I've been using the Vanguard to drift off the side, so I've been coming up behind the enemy. It took 3-4 rounds before they caught on.
With the gunslinger, he's a very precision character, so just spinning around and popping someone in the head real quick, it feels great.
The game is just aggressive all the time.
And this game gives you so much variety of motion.
I never felt more tested.
It makes you think in a completely different way.
The fastest speed I've ever seen in my life. Crazy when you're playing it.
We've heard about the October 10th release date. What are some of the things that have been changing and building upon Shadow of Mordor in terms of Shadow of War?
I think what we've tried really hard to do, although it seems pretty obvious, is take the things that were good that worked in the first game, so our combat and the Nemesis system and this world that we'd created, and to build on that, but also to take the lessons we learned in the first game and really improve those. So really make this into a truly epic fantasy that's kind of up there with if you go and see Return of the King or Lord of the Rings, and really focusing on the story and the characters as well.
I mean, you've been talking all throughout about how important story is in Shadow of War. What does that mean in terms of the work that you're doing?
It means paying off the epic scale, so having these titanic full-scale battles. It means the stakes of the story, so we're facing the most iconic and powerful villains, you know, Sauron and the Witch King and the Nazgul. And it means having these incredibly memorable and personal characters, so allies and enemies that you're working with.
And in terms of E3, what are the types of things that you're showcasing here that people can see?
Oh, the reason we're really excited for E3 is two things. People being able to get their hands on the game and play it. And also that we're going to be giving demos of the game. But because of the Nemesis system, every single demo we give, we have no idea what's going to happen.
That's awesome.
We don't know which orcs or which characters are going to turn up, which stories are going to happen. So every single time people go and see the demo, they're going to see something new, and so are we. And because of that, we really wanted to share that, not just at E3, but for anyone who wants to tune in and watch those demos as well.
Yeah, and of course you see all the information for how to watch those online throughout the entire duration of E3. I know that in a moment we're going to get a chance to delve a little bit more into those story bits with a unique cinematic based on one of the characters that was in the trailer. Can you introduce her for us, Eltariel?
Yeah, so she's one of the new characters we're introducing into the world and into our story, Eltariel. She's the Blade of Galadriel. So she's essentially an assassin that's been sent to Mordor to hunt down the Nazgul and to hunt down anyone corrupted by a Ring of Power. And you, as Talion, are running around Mordor wielding a Ring of Power. So there's some interesting tension in that relationship with her. But she's this awesome character, and as well as that, she gets her own fully playable campaign in our first major story DLC as well, which is the Blade of Galadriel.
Well, before we hop into that, I just want to say, Michael, thanks so much for coming on to talk about Shadow of War. We talked about how important story is to Shadow of War, so let's take a little bit of a look at 2 minutes of the cinematic, Eltariel meeting Talion.
So it is true.
You killed me.
And yet you live. What is that like? To die and live again? Do you feel pain? Do you suffer?
What of the city? Of the Palantir?
The Nazgul have taken both. They belong to the Dark Lord now.
Then I have failed.
What if you keep fighting?
He wields the light of Galadriel. You can recover the ring.
Your rings are the cause of all this, Elf Lord.
You can see him.
I see him.
Who are you?
I'm the Blade of Galadriel.
Since when does Galadriel work with assassins?
Great threats make for unlikely alliances. You know this better than most. Now tell me more about this ring.
We crafted it to defeat Sauron. But it was lost.
The Nazgul will be drawn to the power of the ring.
We cannot let it fall into Sauron's hands. The light of Galadriel, give it to us!
Stay your hand! My light will protect us, but it will not leave my side.
We must move quickly.
Try to keep up.
So much, Sonia. I gotta say, it was a blast. I hope you had a great time. Thank you all so much for coming out. All of you who braved LA traffic to be here in the morning. All of you who tuned in online. Thanks to our sponsors, Intel, Microsoft, Bohemia, Tripwire, Cygames, and Nexon for help making this event possible. It is an absolute pleasure to have your support. And I'd also like to give a shout out to all the developers and the publishers at their recent conferences that have been going on in the last week. We were super excited about the titles there and following them closely because we're gamers at heart, and we hope that you too enjoyed what we had to share with you today. And as crazy as it sounds, E3 starts tomorrow. So we hope that you get the chance to get your hands on some of the titles that were announced in the last week that you're pumped for. From all the folks at PC Gamer and from me, Day 9, have a wonderful day and go play some video games. We'll see you next year.
Fucking do I grab